Yo, fam, what's good? Keenan here. Listen, I have another grandbit, and this one's a little bit more personal. It's a little bit more dear, but it is my hope and my prayer that it would help whoever is watching this, honestly. And so I want to start by telling you something a little bit more personal about myself, just to help illustrate my point. The fact of the matter is, in this season of my life, it's very, very difficult. I'm in probably the toughest season of my life. Really, every year for the last 5 years around this same time, I've gone through some crazy transition job wise. So right now I'm currently not in a job and anything like that. And for whatever reason, whether it was my fault or a company downsized or they found someone better to replace me or whatever, for whatever reason, I've just always found myself in this little cycle. And it's not really small; it's kind of a large deal, but um it's tough, it's difficult, because then every day something else messes up, something else just goes wrong. I'm just like, what in the world is happening? Like, everything is literally falling apart, it seems like, right? And I've wrestled with thoughts. I've wrestled with so many thoughts, man. You know, the enemy always tries you. And so I've wrestled with thoughts like, bro, like, what in the world? Like, God, do you love me? I thought I'm supposed to be this super called person. I'm supposed to be this super anointed, this highly talented and gifted and driven and visionary, and I thought I was supposed to be favored and loved by you. But none of this feels like love. None of this feels like abundance. None of this feels like the plan that you have for me. Like, you said that it would be prosperous in Jeremiah 29:11, and this don't look like prosperity to me. You know what I'm saying? And so I've wrestled with thoughts. You know, I've secluded myself from friends and family, and just to try to kind of figure out what the heck is happening. And there are days that are tougher than others. Some days I'm good, and other days it's just like this one, I'm a little bit in a rut. Like, I'm not happy with it. I'm not easy with it. And I'm sharing this with you because, not because I want sympathy. I don't care about sympathy, anything like that. But I'm sharing this with you because I think a lot of times we, as leaders and motivational speakers and church people in general, we give people too much of a one-dimensional faith. We give people faith from the standpoint of us already coming out of it. But there are not a lot of people who will talk to you about faith while they're in it. And for me, I'm willing to forego image. I'm willing to forego how people are going to view me and what people are going to say, and the rumors and all this type stuff. Oh, he this and then he's that. I'm willing to forego all of that for obedience. I really feel led, like I should share this with you. But I will forego all of that to help somebody understand that, a faith is not easy. That's what I really want people to understand. Faith is not easy, but faith also does not exclude anyone. Struggle, does not exclude anyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, faith is fixed most in the face of adversity, and is strengthened, you know, in those moments that are challenging. It's not really, not that it's weakened when things are perfect, but it's really tested. It's strengthened when the faith is tested the most, and it's not an easy thing. And it doesn't matter how anointed you are. It doesn't matter how called you are. It doesn't matter how gifted you are. None of that matters to struggle. Honestly, I would even dare to say the more gifted, talented, visionary, anointed person you are, you know what I'm saying, struggle's probably going to hit you 20 times hard, but it doesn't matter. It hits everyone. It even hit Jesus, like, at the highest of highest levels. So what makes you think we would evade it? And I really wanted to be transparent with virtually anybody who will watch this, the world, because I want people to understand that this journey of Christian walking, this faith walk, is not easy. Everybody's always like, we paint such a picture saying, oh, you just have to have faith as great as a mustard seed. That's what the word says. You know what I'm saying? You can tell mountains move, but no one tells us what that looks like when they're in it. No one tells us what you know, trusting God looks like when you literally have nothing but God. Like, for me personally, that is all I have at this point. All I have is to trust God. But I feel led to say this and to share this video with you because I want you to understand, man, that faith, you know, struggle doesn't evade any of us. If anyone tells you that faith is easy, they are lying to you. It is not. It is not easy trusting God, especially in the face of bills and in the face of this and that and all this other stuff. Faith is not easy, but it's so worth it. Struggle is worth the outcome. It's worth the outcome. I was reading something, and I'm always taking back to, you know, the thing that's helped me in this season is I found Bible plans that have helped me deal with, you know, just trusting God and believing God. But it's one that really stuck out to me, Isaiah 42:9, and just to paraphrase it to you, he says, indeed, the former things have come to pass. Now I declare new things. Before they spring forth, I proclaim them to you. And for me, that scripture really helps me because it's letting me know that, you know what, Keaton, all the stuff that you dealt with, all the stuff that has come to pass already. I'm washing you of that stuff, and I'm doing something new with you. And in order for me to do something new in you, I have to make you a new person, because I don't want you to sabotage these new things that I'm going to do for you. And so with your old habits, with your old ways of thinking, with your old friends, with your old thought process, with your old family, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm always taken back to this scripture that talks about pouring new oil in old wineskins. It'll cause the old wineskin to burst. And so in order for new oil to be poured, it has to be poured in new wineskin. And what does that mean for you and me, even in this face of struggle? It means this: God is in the midst, he's in the process of cleaning us up and purifying us and getting stuff out of our way. That's why your desires have been changing. That's why stuff that you used to love, you don't even love no more. That's why you're starting to feel like you don't even know yourself, because what God is doing is he's washing you of old stuff that was toxic, not even to people. It was just toxic to your growth. It was toxic to where you're about to go. And so that's really the thing that has been anchoring me the most, is that I'm in a place now where I've surrendered and said, God, do your work. It's your process. I'm no longer worrying about day to day. It's tough getting up every day and it's just like, okay, well, what is on the agenda today? I don't know. Like, let me at least read and try to get some type of clarity. But it's a difficult place. And trusting God is not easy. It's really not easy. But I believe that God is going to use me, even in this transparency, to show the world and to show people that when you just trust him, and even if all you have is trusting him, even if you don't even know what trusting him looks like, you just decide, look, God, I'm going to give you everything, that he would do something amazing with it. Listen, trust in your hands is nothing compared to you trusting and putting it in God's hands. And I just wanted to share this with you, man. Be transparent. Let's be honest, even as leaders, even as Christians, even as pastors and bishops and worship leaders and whatever. Let's be honest with people. People need to see the fact that we struggle. And sometimes we maybe even struggle more than the average person, just because we're under so much persecution as Christians. But people need to see us struggle, because then they need to see the process of God. They need to see how God takes you through a struggling season, and then he allows you to reign. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Jesus, you know, before he ascends into heaven, he says, and greater work shall you do. Now, I know that's hard to believe, because he came and essentially died for all of humanity. What greater thing can we do? But I'll just say it by saying this. We think that the Bible is the end of God. Man, I'm under the belief that the Bible is just the beginning of God. Everything he's done in the Bible, he's so expansive, he's so great. There's so much more that he can do. We just got a facet, we just got a small clip via the Bible of what God is capable of. And I think we're going to see him do stuff on such a larger level, but it takes people being submitted, and it takes people being honest and willing to be used by God. And so be honest with yourself, number one. It is hard. Tell yourself, man, hey, listen, this is difficult. Be honest with God. Look, God, like, some days my faith is in question. And the Bible tells us, you know, one person says, Lord, help my unbelief. And sometimes you really just have to tell God, you know what, God, like, honestly, today is tough. Help me. Be honest with God. But I wanted to be open with you. I don't really care what people are going to say. But I want you to understand that faith is not easy. And I know we paint the picture that it is, but it's not. But it takes you really you have to come up with a decision. Do I give in to this struggle, or do I trust God? Do I just literally just say, God, look, if you're going to do it, do it. That's it. That's where I'm at. Look, Lord, do it. I'm just open to whatever you want. I don't care how you do it, when you do it, where you do it. I just need you to do it. And so I wanted to share that with you. Keep the faith, people. Like, I promise you that it's going to be worth it. I have no choice but to believe it's going to be worth it. All right, it's literally going to be worth it. I'm praying for you, and we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this together. All right, be blessed, guys.